Today's episode is presented by LodeStar, the fee experts.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of LodeStar's Lending Leaders. To wrap up 2022, once again, I am here with Jim and Dave, and we're going to talk all things LodeStar and just have a little bit of fun to wrap up the year. Welcome, guys.
Hey, how do you feel about being the bookend of our podcast seasons?
I think you ask me that every single time.
Yeah.
And I always say, great.
Good. Yeah. Just end on a high note or start on a high note and just kind of be in the middle in between. Is that how you feel about it?
So do you think like everything else is worse when I'm not here?
Yes and no.
Got it. Your words, not mine.
Perfect.
It's different. We have a lot of great guests.
Awesome. Well, we have a few questions for you guys today. And I'm going to start off with, the big one kind of looming on everyone's mind is how have we dealt with 2022? There's been a lot that's happened. So I'll let whoever wants to take it.
2022 was a little crazy. We started off the year just like riding the high, right? And then around March, the Fed rate started, Fed rate hike started, and things imploded. I think as an industry, it's been difficult. As LodeStar, I think we've survived. I wouldn't say we're thrivers, but we're survivors.
We're survivors. Now, just think of that song in the back of my head. I'm a survivor. But yeah, I've called it the least fun but most important year of business we've ever had, probably out of the 10. And the least fun because there are a lot of non-fun conversations of, looking at budgets, looking at costs, looking what you can expend money on, looking what you need to cut money on, and trying to forecast things, learning of clients who go out of business, right? A lot of very important things that also just aren't the fun parts of the business. So I've been really proud of how we've handled this year, even though it's been our lowest growth year that we've had pretty much ever. But we've still grown. We haven't had any layoffs, and we're actually hiring right now, which is more than a lot of other folks in the industry can say. So I think I've been happy about that. But I think we benefit from being a software company. We benefit from the way that we run pretty lean in the first place. So it's been able for us to kind of just focus on those things. Yeah.
Awesome. And I think that goes perfectly to my next point, which is, we did just hire someone. And we're having them start in January. But why should companies be looking to hire in this time if they can?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think, unfortunately, the answer is lots of people are looking for work right now because they've been let go. So you can get good deals, as it were, on employees in this space.
You can get a lot of really good people, and a non-competitive price because they don't have as many options, unfortunately. Which what we saw 130 resumes in 4 days, and then we shut the application because I just didn't want to read any more than that. And it's been good. It's tough, like Dave said, because it's always frustrating knowing the circumstances from it. But it's great to be able to hire and also to find folks like we generally the positions we have are pretty niche, right? We wanted someone who worked at a disclosure desk on a mortgage company and used a very particular LOS software, Encompass. So that gets your pool down really, really fast. Even out of the 130 people who applied, half of them didn't meet those qualifications to start. It makes that type of specific hiring in the industry really, really good. And I think we benefit from trying to hire experienced folks in the industry who get to work in a different way. They get to be remote. They get to not be crazed at the end of the month with scheduling closings and files and a lot of the stress of the mortgage industry and the stress when you're dealing at a mortgage lender and dealing with files and dealing with loan officers, dealing with borrowers. We eliminate a lot of that and just really leverage the knowledge that you've accumulated over your time in the industry.
Perfect. Yeah. And then I think the next question I have is really, what does 2023 look like? We know it means a new hire, a new addition to our team, but what else do you think the next year looks like?
I think we have a lot of products and kind of extensions that we're kind of rolling out or plan on rolling out. I think it's going to be very busy. So just because there was a pullback in the mortgage application space and kind of that's subsequently affected employment, it hasn't really stopped the development of things in the mortgage space. People are still very active in automation, in creating a streamlined workflow from the consumer to disclosure and closing.
To that point, in some cases, they're more active because they have the time.
Yeah.
Or the desire to cut costs. They say, all right, let's rethink our entire tech stack and cut a lot of money out of our budget right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 2023 is going to be busy. It's going to be a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, I also am going to have twins, so it's going to eat up some time into there. But they say that the good thing about twins is like you get a lot of rest and sleep, so it won't be an issue.
That's the most excited you've been when you've said the news, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, we definitely plan on seeing you very well rested for the next 18 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So it definitely seems like we have a lot of changes going on and we're really excited for the next year. We have a lot of new integrations that we're going to be announcing over the next year as well, that Dave's team has been working really hard on. So we're excited about that. And normally I would ask the LodeStar question at the end here, but we've already asked it of both of you.
Mm-hmm.
So instead today, we're going to ask you to wrap up the year. If you could be any animal, what animal would you be and why?
You can start on this one.
I would be an osprey because I want a bird of prey. I want to be able to fly, and I just want to hang by the shore and eat fish all day. Like that sounds pretty fun
Okay.
to me. So I like to fish. I like seafood, and flying would be really cool. So I think a bald eagle would have been too on the nose. So we'll go with an osprey.
I'm trying to think of like a clever metaphor for LodeStar, communicating closing costs, or some sort of animal that is like a facilitator of communication.
An albatross.
Yeah, in the world, and I really can't think of that. So I really like my dog, so I'm just gonna go with dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say a house cat would be
I just want to
great.
sit on Dave's lap all day too. I guess, right? That's Marla's life. So.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time today. We know it's a little bit shorter episode than usual, but we just, we're about to wrap up our director summit and all of that stuff. So we're going to keep it short today, but thank you guys for listening. We hope to see you here. We'll be back in January. I'm realizing I didn't look at the date. So the first Thursday in January, we will be back with our first episode of Lending Leaders of 2023. We're really excited about that.
It's an explosive episode. No.
There will be no explosions. It'll be normal stuff here. So please subscribe, share this podcast. We really appreciate it. And we hope you all have a wonderful end of 2022.
Thank you for listening to LodeStar's Lending Leaders. Please like, subscribe, and rate us 5 stars anywhere you get your podcast. I'd like to give a special thank you to the LodeStar team involved with the production of this podcast, including Alayna Gardner, Tim Austin, and John Gardner.